Looking for the perfect setup for rental income or multi-generational living? This stunning Canoga Park home for sale features a fully upgraded main residence plus an attached ADU with its own entrance, yard, and utilities, ideal for family, guests, or tenants. With modern finishes throughout, a large private backyard, pool, and more, this Canoga Park home tour shows a rare opportunity you don't want to miss. So today we're in the city of Canoga Park here in the San Fernando Valley, checking out this really cool home that has an attached accessory dwelling unit. So the list price is 1,250,000. There's basically 5 bedrooms. So 3 bedrooms, 2 bath in the main house, and then 2 bedrooms, 1 bath in the actual accessory dwelling unit for a total of over 1,900 square feet. You have approximately 755 square feet of living space in that attached accessory dwelling unit, and in the main house, just over 1,200 square feet of living space. And this home sits on an over 13,000 square foot lot. So again, we're in the city of Canoga Park. So we're west of Topanga Canyon Boulevard. Canoga Park, bordered by West Hills, Woodland Hills, as well as Chatsworth to the north. And so it's a very popular city. It's kind of in the middle of the valley. So you're kind of in the middle between the 101 and the 118, depending on where you need to get to. So it's a very popular neighborhood to be living in. And so the fact that you have a home on this actual lot as well as an attached ADU, a lot of people like that for multi-generational living as well as investment in income. And we're going to kind of walk you through that later in this video. So we're going to turn around now and we're going to start with the front of the house and start with the main house and then work our way over to the accessory dwelling unit. All right, guys. So first, I just want to say I love this huge tree here in the front yard. It gives you a lot of shade from the western facing sun. Over there to the left, you can see the entrance to the ADU. We're going to start right here with the main house. So I wanted to show you guys, look at this driveway. So this driveway right here, it's perfect because, look, the ADU was a garage conversion. And I thought they did a really nice job with that. But look, you have your interconnected brick pieces along with the concrete here on this driveway, but you can park a lot of vehicles here. So, whether you're going to allow the people who are in the ADU to park on the street or to be able to park here, look, you could easily fit an RV or a boat or something else on this driveway. Now, over to your right, you have a walkway over to your backyard to the main house. And then again, over to your left is where the accessory dwelling unit is located. So again, pretty large driveway, and you're at the end of the cul-de-sac. So a lot of people like that too. So you're not going to have a lot of people coming onto the street that don't live here. All right, let's go inside. All right, guys, so we're inside the main house. So the main house, again, is 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, just over 1,200 square feet of living space. The entire property is on a 13,145 square foot lot. This home listed at $1,250,000. So as we look towards the entryway where we came in, right, we're in the kitchen right now. This is where your refrigerator is going to be. You have the cabinetry above, and then over here you're going to have your pantry. You can see all the warranties that await the new buyer. So this is always really nice. And then you have your quartz countertop and your stainless steel appliances, including your stainless steel dishwasher. Wanted to show you this color scheme. So you have the white cabinetry, you have the nickel finish on the handles on the cabinetry, and then you have the gold faucet. I like the gold faucet because you have this luxury vinyl plank flooring throughout most of the home. And so I think you want to have something that kind of contrasts a lot of that white and nickel that you have in the cabinetry as well as the countertop. So here you have your freestanding range with your 4 burners. You have your stainless steel hood above that, and you have your tile backsplash. Now, right off of this kitchen, this is going to be where your formal dining area you would think would be, but this is actually the eat-in area. So this will be a nice little eat-in area. So you have this eating area take a look at the light fixtures right here. Just kind of give it like a nice modern touch. And you have two of them. I really like the design. There's some really cool light fixtures that are available, especially growing up and selling houses for over 20 years here in Los Angeles. You get a lot of those old light fixtures from the 60s and 70s that definitely have a lot of charm. Don't get me wrong, but they're not very modern. And then right off that eating area, this is where your laundry hookups are going to be perfect for that stackable washer and dryer unit. And then over here, right off of that, this is where you're going to have your formal dining area right here, which will give you access to the backyard. You have this recently painted fireplace as well as part of your living room. This is the wall that I suspect that most people are probably going to put their big screen TV in. Now, if you wanted to, I'm going to scan back around here, right? You could, if you wanted to, have your formal dining area here. If you wanted to, might be a little tight. I think people are going to put a smaller table, and you could put your TV against this wall. So if you wanted to put your big screen TV against that, and then of course you can see you have the slider there, but all the windows are new. We're going to get into everything that they've done to this house. This house is totally remodeled. So step back here. This is your living room, and now you can see from the opposite side, right, the kitchen counter right here. And look, this is a perfect spot to put a couple of stools or chairs, right? And you can have a quick meal, and entertain friends and family, always with that proverbial glass of wine, right? While you're making something else there in the kitchen. So let me know what you guys think so far, and what kind of step. You have this large great room between the kitchen, your formal dining area, the living room, and the works. You have your LED lighting above. They put in a ton of them, as you can see as we pan around. So let me know what you think of this kitchen. Hey guys, Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. Thanks for tuning in for yet another home tour. Hey, if you haven't done so already, definitely subscribe to our channel, as we're releasing new home tours weekly and constantly giving you market updates of what's really happening here in the Los Angeles real estate market, not just what you find online, because a lot of that information tends to be 60 to 90 days behind what's truly happening in the marketplace right now. Hey, if you're looking to buy a home, reach out to us for our buyer's guide, for everything you need to know about buying a home here in Southern California. And a lot of our buyers, they like to set up a Zoom call with us. And sometimes it takes 15 minutes, sometimes it takes an hour, however long you need. Love to be a resource for you guys and answer all of your questions that you might actually have when it comes to real estate here in Southern California, whether it be buying, selling, or investing in real estate. We've been doing it for over 20 years now. Hard to believe, but we love being able to kind of answer all of your questions, so that when you go out there, you kind of have a game plan and know what to expect when you're looking at properties right now. So you probably already see the QR code right there. You can definitely, if you want to, use that QR code to schedule a time to make an appointment with us. And again, we can kind of walk you through the whole process. All right, let's keep this home tour going. So we're going to pass by the living room and the kitchen, and we're going to go see all the bedrooms. So again, in the main house, right, you're going to have 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. So before we get to the bedrooms, this is going to be your hallway bathroom right here. Again, the luxury vinyl plank flooring. And then in here, I like the color. This is a very popular color these days. Kind of has some bluish hues as well as gray, right? You have the rectangular tiles, and then in the shower enclosure flooring, right, you have your really popular herringbone, that chevron-like design right there on the bottom of your shower enclosure. And then also here, right, because you kind of have that little bit of blue and your flooring is that light brown, light beige. So you have your hand sprayer, everything, your overhead shower head, everything in here is a gold finish to contrast that perfectly. And so that goes really good, because over here, right, you can see that you have your dark cabinetry on your vanity. All right, so let's go across the way. This is the first of 3 bedrooms. And while we're showing the bedroom, I figured it'd be a good opportunity to kind of talk to you guys about some of the things they did to this home. Now, we already talked about the 100% waterproof vinyl flooring, right? And they also put in a new HVAC system. So you have a new central heating system for this home. Again, they remodeled everything. And we talked about when you were in the living room, about the fireplace being freshly painted and the new stainless steel appliances. They also put a brand new electrical panel in there. So these days, to put in an electrical panel is about, I'd say, $5,500, including permits, right? And then a lot of times people move it from where it's currently situated. Maybe they want to have it in a different location for a variety of different reasons. And if you do, we typically find if you're going to move it, it runs about an extra $1,500 to about $2,500, depending on how far you move it from the original location. So your electrical panel could run you about $7,500, $8,500 if that's something that you need to replace. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so now we're in the primary bedroom. The primary bedroom does have its own walk-in closet right here with your built-in shelving. And then coming out, you can see all the natural light that comes in. Again, we were talking to you guys about how the fact that you have all these new windows and new sliders on this home. And then, of course, since this is the primary bedroom, and there are 3 bedrooms and 2 baths in this main house, we showed you the hallway bathroom, and this is your primary bathroom. So you have the shower and tub with the tile backsplash. And look, you have your gold hand sprayer right here, handles, right? And shower head right there. You have the overhead shower head right there. And then even on the shower enclosure, you have your gold colored bar. Right. And this is great because, again, you have that light beige flooring and you have a ever so slightly, a darker color of vanity with your dual sinks. Right. And again, once again, you have your gold colored faucet and handles on that as well to give a little bit of contrast and color. And then here you have your double mirrors, right? And look how they were able to seamlessly blend. So again, you have your herringbone tile along this wall, right, where your vanities are, and then they're able to contrast it once you get into your shower enclosure. So let me know what you think about that design. So we're going to come out over here and we're going to go into the backyard. We're going to save the ADU for last. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this home so far. All right, so as we go outside, right, we're going to step out. So you have this large covered patio. And remember, this is a huge lot. So, it's 13,145 square foot lot because it's at the end of the cul-de-sac. So most of these lots are significantly less. So the reason why I point that out to you is that over here, you can see you have this vinyl fencing right here for your ADU. Right. And so, they're going to have their own little separate yard, which we'll show you when we get over there. But this is great because even though you have an ADU, a couple things are really good is that, they're not accessing it from the back of the home, right? And then basically they only access it from the front and they have their own privacy. So even if you have somebody that's renting it out, right, it's not going to get in the way of what you can do as far as entertaining or taking advantage of this house. Because so many times when you have an ADU on the property, a lot of times it's complicated because they have to enter through the side yard. And, there's a lot of discussion between the tenant and the landlord of what type of use they're going to be able to get in that backyard. So here you don't have to worry about it. You still have all that privacy here in your backyard. So plus you have this massive sparkling pool. I want to show you this. This is a huge pool, right? So you got this beautiful pool right here, pool and spa. And so you're able to take advantage of everything, especially on those warm summer days. Who doesn't want to jump off that diving board? All right, so you can see that. And then look over here, we're going to walk over there right now. As you can see, you still have this large grassy area on this side. Now, we kind of showed you, and I'll show it to you again, where the white vinyl fence was separating the ADU and the main house. You had a grassy area over there. And then here you can see the tankless water heater against the wall, as well as the newer condenser unit right there. So that's pretty neat. as we show that to you. So again, now you can see from this side and really get a good perspective of how big this backyard is. And then take a look at how big right here. Look at this covered patio. This is a huge covered patio. So this is pretty cool as well. And then again, this was the aforementioned grassy area here on this side of the backyard. All right, guys, so we're back in the front of the house and we're going to walk into the attached accessory dwelling unit. So this ADU is going to be 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, approximately 755 square feet of living space. And so as you enter, you're going to see the kitchen. That's going to be the first thing you are going to notice. So you got your stainless steel appliances, brand new stainless steel dishwasher, stainless steel freestanding range with your oven and 4 gas burners right there. And then above it, you're actually going to have what they call a smart microwave, right? So you don't really see a lot of these on here these days, right? Because I don't think a lot of people know about it. But look, if you're cooking and you want to watch YouTube, you could do it. I don't think they have any Wi-Fi connected right now. Otherwise, it would pull up a YouTube channel. But just kind of wanted to show you that. And then you have your nice tile backsplash to go along here in your kitchen. So again, remember we were telling you that this is a 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. So this is the first bedroom. It's towards the front of the house. You have your mirrored closets right there. And then I wanted you to check out this split. So they have its own split system here in this ADU, which is great because it keeps you cool all summer long and warm on those cool breeze nights. And so, you know, it's not something that you share with the main house. Same with the electrical meter. You have your own electrical meter here. So it's like living in your own mini house. So this is something that a lot of people like to have, especially with multi-generational living as well as investment. So this is your living room here. Again, you're going to see another mini split right above there. And then you have all your recessed lighting on your vaulted ceilings here. And again, as we talk about, we'll show you at the end, you're in kind of your own little private slice of heaven here, your nice little backyard. And there's 2 places we can enter the backyard. We'll show you the second one in a bit. So once again, to put the main house, you are going to have this waterproof luxury vinyl plank flooring right here. And then kind of show you from the other side, this is where your refrigerator would go. And they have some custom wine racks right here. And it looks like the bottles are all full. So maybe whoever the lucky buyer is will be able to obtain all that wine. You have your washer and dryer hookups right here. And then this is the 1 bathroom. So right here you have your vanity with the white quartz countertop with the gray veins, the gold handles, and the gold surround on the mirror, right, with the modern light fixture. And then coming down here, you'll see that this is your shower enclosure. So they have all the tile running from the top to the bottom. And they have a couple of different tiles running right here. So they have one on the bottom, kind of has like a brick look to it. And then they have the normal kind of almost like a subway tile along the top to the bottom. And then you have your gold shower head above that. Not actual gold, but just gold color. All right. And then we'll step out of here. And then this is your second bedroom right over here. So again, first thing I want to show you is you have your mini split, which is great because just with this remote control, you're able to control, right, this individual mini split. So maybe if you're here by yourself in this bedroom, right, maybe you don't want to have all the splits going on at the same time. So maybe you just want to keep this room cool, and you could do that. All right, let's go outside since we've already shown you the 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. And before we do, remember, this is part of the backyard to the main house. And again, you have this white vinyl fence over here separating it. And you can see you have your own smaller tankless water heater as part of the accessory dwelling unit. And then look, you got this nice little yard over here. So you got a small patio as well as this nice grassy area to be able to relax, unwind if you're living in this ADU. So it's kind of perfect, really. I think, you know, if you wanted to have it to kind of supplement your mortgage, or you had family in there, maybe you have a teenager that you want to put in there. So I think you have a ton of different options depending on what you're looking to do. And I can tell you that over the years, we've had a lot of different clients take advantage of whether it be duplexes or ADUs where, especially where it's already built for you, right? Because to build an ADU can be quite expensive. So, if it's a garage conversion, it's not uncommon for it to be 80 to 90,000. When they first started them, they were probably about 40 to 50,000. Just shows you what the cost of business, how much it's gone up here in LA County over the years. But, depending on how you wanted to build one, it could easily be in excess of $100,000. And especially if you're going to be building a brand new structure, that's going to cost even more, especially now as building costs have gone up as a result of the recent LA wildfires. All right, guys, Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. You've made it to this part of the video so far. All right, so a couple things I wanted to talk to you guys about. I think this is some great value. I think if you're an investor or you're looking to supplement your mortgage, right, to have somebody rent it out, because you still have all that privacy there in the backyard, and they're going to be parking, in the front of the house. They're not going to be entering through the side yard. They basically enter through the front of the home with its own separate entrance. So that's huge, right? So I think that you'd be able to still have a lot of your own privacy if you decided you wanted to rent it out. Again, maybe you have multi-generational living and someone has to have a parent live with them, or parents. Maybe you have a teenager, right? Maybe you want to rent it out to a college student. There's a ton of different ways to go about doing it. It's already delivered vacant to you guys, right? So, and then, some people are going to be coming in here and looking at this as a complete investment opportunity by being able to rent out the main house as well as this accessory dwelling unit. So if you want to learn more about what you need to know about either building or renting out, some of the rental laws, definitely reach out to me and love to kind of walk you through that full entire process. Definitely reach out. Love to give you our guide to what it takes to really build an ADU successfully, and as well as renting it out. Like, there's a lot of things that you need to know. There are a lot of rules and laws that have changed since the beginning of 2025 that you probably definitely need to be aware of. All right, so there's that. And then if you wanted to get a better idea of, we kind of talked about it in this video about remodeling costs. It's something that we're very familiar with because, for our sellers, we always talk about our Concierge Plus program. And that's a program that allows our sellers to be able to remodel or fix or make repairs on the home with no upfront cost, not a single penny. There's no interest charges. Whatever you negotiate with our contractor ends up being billed through the close of escrow. And usually we typically see 3 to 5 times return on that investment. So that's a big number to keep in mind. And usually, I don't think we've had a property using that program that's actually been on the market more than 2 weeks utilizing that program. So something else to keep in mind about that if you're looking to sell a home. And something that they didn't do here, but we do for all our sellers, is ask us about our free complimentary staging program too. So we stage all of our homes as well. And then a lot of times, if people are living in the home, usually what we'll typically do is we'll work with their furniture, we'll move it around, and we'll kind of work with our interior designer to be able to kind of basically complement your pieces with their pieces to kind of make it look the best. Now, again, if you're looking to buy a home, check out the QR code above right here if you want more information, just to kind of get an idea of what it takes to get your offer accepted in this crazy market. We're seeing a lot of multiple offer situations again, so you really have to be working with the right agent. And I can't tell you how many times over the course, just in the last 3 months here in 2025, I've seen offers on our listings here in Southern California, and they're just off. There's no way my seller is going to touch them with a 10-foot pole, but the buyers don't know, right? So a lot of times the buyers think that everybody's the same, but it's not. It's not true. Not every agent is the same. So you reach out to us for the 5 things that you need to ask your real estate agent, as well as we'll leave in the description down below a link for one of the videos that we did, that the top mistakes to avoid if you're buying a home here in Los Angeles, in the greater Los Angeles area. All right, hope you enjoyed this video. We enjoyed bringing it to you. I'm Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group, and we will see you on the next home tour.